Tom Brady riding high. Tom Brady, famously the Michigan man. Tom Brady is really riding high after the Michigan Wolverines went into the shoe. Man, this game that had absolutely no meaning other than maybe a home field advantage just makes all these dudes insane. Listen to this. He went in, Michigan did, to the horseshoe against all odds and down their bitter rival, Ohio State. Apparently the win wasn't enough, though, as a legendary quarterback is now putting the focus on Ryan Day's questionable coaching as he labeled Ohio State a 7-on-17. Let's hear it.
I think a lot of it is you define the type of player that you want, and you define the type of team you want to build, and then you find players that have those skill sets physically and those values kind of mentally, emotionally. Michigan is a very tough, hard-nosed team. They run the ball very well. They haven't been great throwing the ball, but if I looked at Ohio State's strengths and weaknesses, they have a great 7-on-7 team. They got guys that can throw the ball to. In the second half, they don't even target their best players. So to me, it's like I may as well have been out there playing receiver for Ohio State. I can't run. I couldn't catch. But it doesn't matter if you don't throw me the ball, just like they didn't throw a lot of their best players the ball in the second half of that game. So whenever we got to big games, let's say the Super Bowl, you'd say there's 70 plays left in the game. In our season, the entire 6 months of work, 7 months of work is going to come down to 70 plays. What do we want those 70 plays to look like? And then you reverse engineer it. And you say, okay, we're going to want 40 passes and 30 runs. Well, what 40 passes do we want? We could design 150 of them if you want. Now, there's 110 of those that won't get called. So why don't we just dial it down and dial it back to only the specific ones where our best players are going to touch the ball, doing the best things that they do, and we're going to go out like that. If we lose, we lose. If we win, great. But we're not going to lose doing things that we don't do well. And I think the Coach Belichick would always say, coaches lose games and players win games. Yeah. And he didn't mean to say that coaches are not valuable. Coaches need to put their players in a position to win.
One football game between Ohio State. You know what I mean? Damn. And Tom Brady is now pontificating, and their coach is great at 6-5. Okay. This is me. This isn't you, and I don't want it to be you. You know what I mean? I don't understand why we got to keep listening. Look, I don't think people understand why they got to keep listening to me. You know what I mean? I don't think so. People are like, well, why we got to listen to him? But, damn, I'm getting tired of Brady. Nah, I am. He's much better than Olsen, and I'm glad he's there. But you know what? I don't know what to tell you. What I do tell you is simply this. What I'm going to tell you is this. Ohio State lost. Michigan won. Damn. How deep it? Coaches got to put their players in position to win. Blah, 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 blah. Ohio State makes a couple kicks, they win the game. Now that's position to win. Sometimes players just don't make plays. Sometimes a good kicker misses. Sometimes a good tackler doesn't tackle a guy. Honest to God. And with Ohio State and Michigan, it's all this philosophical bullshit. Hey, Brady going on and on. A kicker makes a kick, it's a tie game. Kicker makes 2 kicks, Ohio State wins. What are you talking about? It was a hard play, but nobody, guys won 90% of his games. 90%. Honest to God. 90%. Honest to God. You win 9, but he doesn't put his team in a position to win because his kicker missed a couple kicks and guys missed a tackle on 3rd and 6. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm calling a little bit of BS-ish on this. I like Jay Crawford. If you remember, Jay Crawford was the guy. He was the guy at ESPN for a while. He was kind of the original host of those arguing shows. Jay is now a news anchor for WKYC in Cleveland, his hometown. He's a former Bowling Green guy, and I always liked him. I do. He's floating the notion that Urban Meyer would return to Ohio State to coach the Buckeyes, and that he never wanted to leave in the first place. Rather, he was pushed out. Well, let me address that. Gene Smith absolutely screwed Urban Meyer. Gene Smith, when Urban Meyer was going through all this crap about his wide receivers and his wide receiver's wife, went on vacation. Urban Meyer and his wife had to sit in a room for 8 hours because this idiot president named Drake made them and were dishonest and were worried about covering their own ass. That's what happened. So, at the end of the day, Smith is gone. Drake is gone. Now you got a chance. Would Urban Meyer go back? I simply have no idea. I texted him the other day because I saw the alpha male had put out the Chicago Bears and the freaking Ohio State Buckeyes are deciding between Urban Meyer. I sent it to him. I said, yo, let's go. I'm in. He didn't respond. I don't know. Maybe he's working on a deal. I don't know. What I think, did Urban get pushed out? Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, he did. Well, he got pushed out by himself because he didn't want to work for idiots. And I don't blame him. And they screwed him like all presidents of universities are doing. They will always do. Not a little, always. Anyway, Jay Crawford is saying, yo, I've talked to 2 people who kind of sort of maybe know, and Urban wants to come back. Of the 3 people that I talked to, 2 of them with some degree of certainty. This is pretty funny. Now, this is really funny. And I talked to 3 guys. A couple had some degree of certainty. Others, I don't know. Anyway, of the 3 people I talked to, 2 of them with some degree of certainty said, yeah, you'd come back. Yeah, they would ask him because those are the questions I asked. Urban never wanted to leave Ohio State. The people that were closest to him and know him well know that he did not want to leave Ohio State. His hand was forced because the administration at the time did not like how powerful Urban had become at the university. So there's a real power struggle. Note that the 2 main players that forced Urban out, and that's what it was, are gone. He's right about that. No, he's absolutely right about that. No question about it. He's 100% right. The guys that did and did force Urban out and were too chicken shit, Gene Smith, who we're all supposed to call a legend, he went on vacation, as I said. And the other guy was scared, didn't know how to handle it, a guy named Drake. Our full focus right now is on college football playoff and making a strong run. This is the athletic director, who, by the way, allegedly, I don't know this to be fact, allegedly his first call when Jimbo Fisher was out at Texas A&M was to Urban Meyer. Our full focus right now is on the college football playoff, making a strong run. We have a ton to play for. We have a great team made up of talented players, great young men. Coach Day does a great job leading our program. He's our coach. That's right. Let me throw a little caveat in there. Urban Meyer's son-in-law got fired as the quarterback's coach last year by Ohio State, by Ryan Day, a man that Urban hired. Just saying.